All right, all right. What's going on, party people? This is your man Griff. We are here with the most wonderful
Hi,
Mrs. Griff. She's here with us, and we just wanted to come out here and just say just a few words of encouragement, and just have a little quick chat. This year has been an amazing year for our family. We've gone through some things, but we've stood the test of whatever was thrown at us, and we did great. Our family did great, as we believe many of your families have done great also. And we just wanted to say thanks to all of your support to this channel, to our family, to you coming out to doing hair, getting her hair done, because some of you got your hair done by her. And we really appreciate y'all. But we mainly wanted to encourage y'all and, to just stay focused, don't give up. I think many of you realize that now you need to filter out more information that has been given to you about whatever endeavors you're doing in this life, personal, business, financial, and go out here and do it. We have figured out how to work with each other and go out here and do our thing and support each other. And we encourage y'all to do the same. So I'm appreciative of y'all, especially the YouTube channel members, very appreciative of y'all. Spend a lot of time chatting with y'all as groups and individually. And I just want y'all to know that, especially with this notary business, it is a very easy business to do. And if you focus on the right things, believe in yourself and go execute, you will see great success. Things are going to change in our industry, meaning the mortgage industry. But the question is, are you going to be ready when that change comes? What you got to say, babe?
Well, thank you. Thank you for all of your support of Mr. Griffin here, Uncle Griff. Thank you for your support of our family throughout these past 12 months. We really appreciate each and every one of you, the subscribers, the members of the channel, and the friends of the channel. We just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. And we appreciate all the levels of support that you have given to us as a married couple and just as a family as a whole. I just want to say to those of you who may be married and may be, running businesses, you have to really, really make sure that you and your spouse are on the same page, that you're on one accord, that you have a plan, that you have talked about that plan, and that you are doing everything that you can to execute that plan, whether it's the notary business or any other business that you may be embarking on right now and going forward. Mm-hmm. That is something that we had to learn how to do very early in our marriage. I remember very early on, I wasn't supportive of my husband the way that I needed to be in his very first business, his very first photography business. I had the mindset of, that's your business, it's not my business, and I wasn't supportive. And it limited what my husband was able to do in his business because he didn't have my full support as his wife, as his spouse. And I had to learn some very costly lessons from my lack of support. Okay. And I got to see how all of that played out, and it didn't play out very well. It didn't play out very well. And even supporting my husband, even just with his regular 9-to-5 jobs that he's had over the years. Mm-hmm. And I had to learn how to be supportive even in that. Mm-hmm. I really did. And, just being able to hear how his day was and, just the challenges that he faced on his jobs and things of that nature. And, how I could make our home a sanctuary. where when he came home, he had a place to come home to where it was peaceful, it was welcoming, it was positive, and I had to work at that. Okay, it's been 29 years that we've been married, and I had to work at that over time. I wasn't perfect at it. I'm not perfect at it now, but I'm just saying I wasn't that great at it early on. And I had to learn how to make our home a place where when Griff came home, he knew that he could decompress. He could talk to me about what was going on, at work, and we could, talk about things that could help him be able to make it through those challenges that he was dealing with. And because I was able to learn how to be, supportive, to be that wife, to be that helpmeet, that is really what my role is. That's the part that I play in this marriage, and that may not be that positive nowadays to hear, that popular, to hear what your part is or what your role is in a marriage. But when it comes to business, in order for your business to thrive and to grow and to expand and to do well and be successful, things have to be that way at home. Mm-hmm. And when everything is good at home and with your marriage, then it can, overflow into the other areas of your life. And I want to say thank you to my husband, because he has been so supportive of me and my business. And in every way. And I couldn't have been successful or continue to stay in business and continue to expand and to grow in the ways that Sharpen Your Skills Continuing Education and Salon has been able to continue to grow and expand and thrive without his support. And I just remember, some years back, when other people didn't want to, do business with us or partner with us or whatever you want to call it, connect with us, that he said, you know what, we're going to do business one with another. Yeah. We're going to do business with each other. And when he said that at first, I was like, oh, okay, because I didn't have a business at that time. So I didn't have that entrepreneurial mindset that I have now. So I heard what he said, and I just, continued to try to be as supportive as I possibly could be as his wife, as his spouse, and to make sure that, I was taking care of our sons, and I also had a job as well. And so once I got my own business and I saw how supportive he was of me and, showing me different things that I could do and helping me get my business set up, then I understood that statement of we're going to do business with one another. And so that's what we've been able to do. We've been able to do business with one another. We've been able to help one another, being that his business is more mobile with the notary business. He's going out, he's doing notary signings, he's doing RON closings online. His business has a different look to it and an environment to it than mine does. He also has a technology consulting business where he hosts websites and builds websites for organizations. And so his business has a different environment than mine does. Mine is more of a brick and mortar business. I have a school building and salon. And so, the things that I have to make sure that I obtain and maintain is different than in his businesses. So when he's helping me, he's literally helping me with the brick and mortar part of my business, the actual building. My husband also built my website and helps me with my advertising and marketing. He showed me how to get those things started. Those of you who have a Google My Business page, he helped me get started with that. And then he handed it over to me. A lot of times my husband will get things started for me, get it set up, and then hand it over to me. I'm not one of those type people that is like just a figurehead or the face of my business. Okay. I am involved in my business. I work within my business. I do what it takes to push my business forward. And when my husband said he would do business with me and I would do business with him, guess what we had to do? We had to work and in our businesses, and we had to prove to each other that we were worth doing business with. Okay, I'm gonna say that again. We had to work to prove to one another that we were worth doing business with. Okay, so when my husband helps me in all of the different ways that he helps me with my business, and I always call him my not so silent investor, okay, it's because he sees me working. He sees me putting in the work. So he sees the validity of my business. It's not just me out here, going, oh yeah, I'm in business. I'm a boss. I'm a boss. No, it's not that. He sees me up late and getting up early and doing what it takes to move my business in a forward, positive direction. And I say that, and the same thing with him. I see the work that my husband puts in with his businesses. I see it every single day. He is out there working. He is putting in the work. And so when he asked me, can you come be a witness for me today? I need a witness. If I have the time, I have no problem with doing that. Why? Because I know that is a way that I can help support him and to help keep his business moving in a forward direction.
And that witness fee money comes into the house because
exactly
that gets paid to us, and then we put that toward the house.
Yes. And see, that's how we look at it. I'm not looking at it as, this is my money, this your money, all that. We got rid of that really in the beginning of our marriage. We know that there's people out there that everything is kind of split down the middle. Everything with us is our. Everything with us is ours.
Some people might not like to hear that.
Yeah, it's ours.
And we understand that for some people, you need it split. Yeah. But sometimes if you see the split don't work, you might have to pull it all together.
And for us, we put.
You got to be more disciplined when you have to be disciplined on both, but you really got to be disciplined when you split the money. And it's like, okay, I mean, I can't see splitting it like that. And even the money that we do, because I do have a bank account where I have money in, but that money, if she needs access to it, here's the card, go do the groceries. So no matter where the money is at, we all got access to it.
And and we've been like that. Even when we just had our regular, W-2 9-to-5 jobs, we were always like that. The money came into, the bank accounts, our direct deposits went in there, whether he was getting paid once a month or bi-weekly or every 2 weeks or whatever the case might be, we always communicated. We have always communicated. We've always talked about what income we have coming in, what expenses we have going out, what do we have, what are our goals financially, what do we have going on that we want to execute moving forward. And when we have done that, that has helped us get through the challenges, the tough times, the rough times. And those things are going to happen. Those things are going to come. We had some of those things this year that happened. Whether it was with our business or whether it was just within our family, those of you who follow this channel, you know that Pop, my father-in-law, his father passed away. We had to come together as a family. I had to make sure that I was doing my part to support Griff, to support my husband, to help with taking care of Pop when he was still alive, when he needed additional help. I had to get in there. I changed my schedule. At my school and with my clients and things of that nature so that I can give my husband the additional help and support that he needed. And all of this is warranted. You have to think about these things if you're going to whether one of you is going to be running a business and one of you is going to be, working a regular job. If one person is staying at home, taking care of the children and taking care of the household, whether it's the wife or the husband or a combination of the two. And at any point in time in our marriage, it was either me or him. Yeah. There were times where it was him and I was working. Yeah. And I never, during those times when I was out working and he was at home, I never sat down here and belittled my husband or looked down on what he was doing or said, you better hurry up and get out there and, find another job and this, that, because I felt like when I was out there working and he was taking care of our sons and my husband was cooking and taking care of Seben and Solomon and all of those types of things, we just were like, we got to do what we have to do to make sure that our household is taken care of.
And there wasn't and she never came home with fellas running out the back, bottles and this and that. It wasn't all funky and stinky of just guys sitting around farting and just looking at sports all day.
No.
I mean, it was, we on purpose. So I didn't do that, so it made it easy for her to support me because that showed that I wasn't being lazy and I wasn't just sitting here blowing the time. I could show her that I was looking for jobs. I could show her what I was doing to try to make things work in the family and all of that kind of stuff and make sure I supported her. And then when it came time for her to be home, she was home, go out. And it wasn't like when I come home, her and all her girlfriends are sitting up here and they all looking at me like, you home early. It wasn't none of that kind of stuff.
And the one thing I was saying, I wasn't just spending the money frivolously because that happens in marriages sometimes, whether you own a business or whether you are working a job or doing a combination of running businesses and working regular jobs. When that income comes in, you have to be responsible. You have to be excellent stewards over the income that comes into your businesses and through your jobs. And so as a wife and as a mother, I had to make sure, because I ran those finances for a long time. I was the one that kept up with the bills being paid from the mortgage all the way down to all of the insurances, to all of the utilities, everything that we owed, what credit cards, loans, whatever, everything that we owed. And I would let him know and say, hey, everything is paid for, for the month. I wasn't out here just, out here buying my Michael Kors, my Coach bags, my Louis, my this, my that. No, I wasn't doing that because I took my responsibility and my role within our family very, very seriously. And so I wanted to build that trust. There's a trust that has to be built. We have a track record with one another. We have a track record with one another. He's not sitting around going, oh, did she empty the bank account? Did she empty the bank account? I'm not sitting here going, oh man, did he empty the bank account? Did he waste the money?
Right.
What are you doing with the money? We don't think that way with one another.
No, we don't have those issues at all. And this is what we're trying to encourage y'all to do, because let's just be real. when you're distracted with following other people who have no connection to your family, it makes it hard for you to stay connected with your family.
Mm-hmm.
When you're spending your time following people who are not connected with your family, it keeps you from staying connected because you're trying to implement what they are saying, and you already know that's not applicable. Mm-hmm. Okay, so then why are you still hanging here? Why are you still clubhousing with them and Facebooking and all of that? Because what they're saying is nice. Okay, that works for them, but it's not working for me. So I had to sit here and figure out, okay, hanging around these people is cool to a certain extent, but the information they're sharing is not applicable. So now let me go find the information that's applicable and figure out how to make this thing work for my family. Even though you're in business, and even if you have a spouse that's not necessarily down with that, they don't have an entrepreneur mindset, you're still doing it for your family. And you still have to focus on that. Going into this next year, 2023, that's why I keep saying you got to learn, execute, and then evaluate what you've executed for the level of success and failure. And too many people have not executed. This is the time to execute because many of you are overly saturated with knowledge.
Yeah, information rich and application poor.
You have too much information to the point that you won't execute anything. And yes, we have the phrase analysis by paralysis and all of that. Got that. What are you going to do? When are you going to do it? And everything that we've been able to accomplish is when we cleared out connections, some spiritual connections and financial connections and job related connections, because some jobs interfere with you being connected with your family. You get what I'm saying? Some jobs now, and whether they paying you good or not, and then you have some financial things you're trying to do, that's not good for your family. You have some spiritual, church-related, I'm just telling you straight up, some church-related things or spiritual-related things, however you want, that can interfere with you and your family connecting. And that is one of the things that I see. And even recently, me and the fellows was talking about how no sooner than you come in and you check out our podcast, Notaries Unsealed, every Tuesday at 10 a.m. We talked about the fact that no sooner than you come into the notary world, somebody saying, hey, what about this? You can do this, you can do that. And you take it and you think about that. What is the worst thing that a woman could see for her husband? No sooner than he gets married, the fellas are like, yo, man, come on out to the club with us. Come on over here. Now, before he got married, y'all never wanted him to go to the club. And then all of a sudden he gets married and y'all want him to come to this party and that place and this place where you know there's trouble. You don't give that man a chance to get solidified with his wife and really bond and connect with her as a married person. It can make trouble down the road, and vice versa for the woman. So just the same as they talk about that bonding child with the woman and her child, there's a time that you have to bond with that child. So with your business, you need to bond with it. With that industry, you got to bond with it so you can go out there and do it right. But no sooner than you get started, they got you going here, they got you going there, and getting into all of these other businesses, and you never fully develop what you desired, what you started in the first place. So you never really develop a true desire for it. You have
to get that foundation.
Right. You got to get that
foundation strong. And most people from just looking at what has been going on in the notary industry, I'm not a notary, but I have watched what has been going on with the notary industry. And it's like every 6 months, you have a new group of notaries who are coming in and they're excited and they're jumping into every, watching videos, clubhouses, Facebook groups, you name it, whatever is out there. And then 6 months later, they're back out advertising the fact that they're leaving the business and they're selling all of their printers, their equipment, their supplies. Where do you want to get it? That's literally what we've been seeing. And this is about every 6 months. It's not even, for some people, it's not even a whole year. It's within 6 months after they have entered in. And some of these people, not all. I don't like to make sweeping generalizations. Not all, but some of these people have not gotten any notifications. Some people are in the category where they never got a notification. They never got even notified that there was a job available. Some people got notifications and they answered the notifications and never got chosen to take that signing. Okay. And then there's people that maybe get 1 or 2 signings every so often. And then there's some people that may get 3 or 4 signings a month. You see the categories of people.
Yeah, you got one category that there are people who actually get the notifications and won't even reply back to them because they are scared. They're worried. They're like, oh my goodness, this is really happening. And then you have another category who get the notification, respond, get accepted to the notification, to the order, and then they cancel. They all the way, they're at the door. And then they're like, nah, I'm not even gonna go that way. I'm never mind. And then they're like, I'm out. So there's all of these things. And I see so many people, they're so inundated with trying to do all of these different businesses, have money coming from all of these different ways, that when the opportunity to do the notary part that you originally started with, that opportunity comes, no, that's taking too much time away from this other business.
You don't even really have time to actually go out and execute the original intent or the original business that you said that you wanted to be in and be a part of. And it is a saying called Jack of all trades, master of none. And that's the thing. You can be where you are able to do, a lot of different things. But then you have to ask yourself, what am I skilled at? There's a lot of things that I can do, but I know what I'm skilled at. I know what I have been trained to do for the longest time. And that's the thing. There are things that I know how to do that's like, okay, it's I do it well enough to get through it this particular time, but that's not something that I am necessarily skilled at. I'm not a subject matter expert at it and things of that nature. For me, I have been, doing hair basically most of my life. And I'm 55 years old now. And so, but I knew when I was 12 that I wanted to be a cosmetologist. That was a long time ago. So I had a desire and a passion to be a cosmetologist long before I ever became one. So mentally, I was already there. Mentally, I had a vision and a passion and a strong desire to be that, to be a part of the industry that I have been a part of going on close to 40 years now. But you can only do that if you have that really strong desire to do that. And I never looked at it as something to fall back on. See, when you're always looking at the industry that you're working in as something to fall back on, guess what? You're not gonna, you're not gonna approach it wholeheartedly. You're gonna come to that industry, half-heartedly and half-stepping, and
looking for shortcuts.
Trying to get rich quick with it, and you won't do what it takes to build within the industry
for longevity.
Yeah, for success and for longevity. And I always tell my husband, when he tells me some of the things that's going on, and I say, well, this is my outlook on it. You can't get rich quick and be thorough. You cannot get rich quick and be thorough. When people are getting into the notary industry, or there's even things within the cosmetology industry that people are doing. Training is one of them. And I own a school. I own a cosmetology school. But there's things even within the cosmetology industry that people are trying to have classes for, have training for, and things of that nature that they're trying to do it. That's quick money. That I can, and I call it a money grab.
Mm-hmm.
You have to ask yourself these very important questions. Am I in business, whether it's the notary business or any business? Are you in it for the quick money? You got to ask yourself that question, because if you don't, and you basically are, trying to run around the elephant that's in the room, okay, you're just going to keep doing that, walking around the elephant that's in the room, and you're going to find that you're trying to grab at straws. You're trying to do this over here. You're trying to do this over there. Well, somebody else is doing that, and they made some money doing that, or they said they had some success doing that. But then you start to do it, and do you have integrity while you're doing it? If what you're doing, are you doing it with character and with integrity and with the intent to treat the people that you are asking to do business with you the right way? See, all of this is very, very important. And we talk about this all the time with each other, about doing business the right way, doing it with integrity, knowing why you're in business. Why do you want to be? Because if you just got into the notary business, I'll say the cosmetology industry, or any other industry, because you're tired of your job and it looks like you can make money quick over there, that's not a good reason to go into an industry.
Because when things get tough, when you have a downturn of any sort, when things are not looking exactly as you in your mind thought it should, and based off, and you think it should look this way because somebody online told you, that's how it looks for them. And that's why me and the fellows were talking. I said, we always talk about the why, and I'm gonna do another video outlining that a little more detail. But too many of you have a why, or you're trying to develop a why, but you end up letting somebody else's why be your why, because your why isn't strong enough for you. So you're like, wow, their why. Oh man, okay. And if you don't have it right, when the things get tough, you're going to walk away from the business. You're not going to put forth. You're going to get scared. You're going to be in a fetal position. You're not going to hit accept to that order. You'll hit accept sometimes because you need to, but then when the opportunity comes, you're going to shut down, and you're not going to execute. And then but you were trying to do what everybody else told you should be doing, not where your heart was at. And for some of you saying, well, I don't have a desire from the age of 12 to be a notary like Miss G had.
Look, I don't want to be a notary either. And I get it. But see, I know that. That's the point that we're trying to make. I know that I don't want to be a notary.
But here's the thing. If you have a desire to be an entrepreneur and to be a successful entrepreneur, what that means to me is that whatever business endeavor you take on, you should be doing it correctly, with integrity, with character, all of that.
And it shouldn't just be a money grab, a get rich quick type thing for you. I had to, there was fear when I first opened Sharpen Your Skills, back in 2017. I was still working my job when I started that business. And I had to, in 2018, when I retired from the public school system, I was terrified. Because now I was coming to my business every day, and I had to work within my business. I had to promote it. I had to market it. I had to be disciplined. I had to be focused. Okay. I didn't have a boss that was standing over top of me and micromanaging me anymore, telling me what to do and when the deadlines were. I am the principal. I am the lead instructor. I am the inventory manager. I am the advertising and marketing department.
Mm-hmm.
I am these things now.
Yeah.
And my husband comes alongside and he helps and supports and he, gives ideas and things of that nature. But I had to learn a lot of these things that I now know that I have to, do as a part of my responsibility of running the business. And if I was just in it for, to see if I can make a lot of money real quick, guess what? I would have already been gone. I would have left it a long time ago. I wouldn't be working on my 6th year. June will be 6 years. I would have left after some of the challenges that I faced within my business. But because I love what I do, okay? I love what I do. I understand my industry. I do research. I read. I study. I make adjustments within my business according to, maybe what happened that might not have been so, positive. It might have been a negative thing that happened, but I use it as a feedback loop to see, okay, what things do I need to change? What systems, what new systems do I need to put in place so that I can continue to move forward? Because just like, James Clear, Atomic Habits, the book Atomic Habits, James Clear says you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. So if you don't have a system in place, you can say you want to be a notary, you want to be a 6-figure notary. Well, you can't be a 6-figure notary until you're a 2-figure notary, until you can make, $90 a month. Okay, that's when you're a 2-figure notary. Then you move up to being a 3-figure notary when you're making, $900 within a month, right? Then you move up to being a 4-figure notary where you're making $1,000 or more a month, right? Because you can't be a 6-figure until you can at least be a 2-figure and learn how to grow from there. We're a lot of times we're trying to put the cart before the horse. We're so busy looking at, we're looking at the 6 figures, but do you have the systems in place to execute what needs to be done to become a 6-figure notary? Yeah. And really these are questions that you have to ask yourself. Do you even desire to be a 6-figure notary? That may not be your desire. You might be fine with making, $40,000 just from your notary business, because your notary business might be part-time, or just what you're able to do according to your family structure, with what you and your spouse are able to do, or, what's going on with your children and things of that nature. Everybody's personal economy and personal situation is different. And so these are all things that you have to ask yourself as you're moving into these next 12 months, as we're moving into 2023 on the Gregorian calendar. Okay. We have to ask ourselves these important questions. Am I focused? Am I disciplined? Am I skilled? Do I have enough knowledge, about the notary industry or about any business that you might be embarking on? Maybe you haven't started it yet, or maybe you've already started it and you've already ran into challenges and things of that nature, and you become discouraged and you're like, should I just throw this out and do something else? See, I had to get to a point of no return. I call it the point of no return, that no matter what comes up and no matter what happens, I wasn't going to just give up, faint, quit, and throw in the towel.
Right.
I moved beyond that point. There were things my husband did too. I took my own money and invested into my business. I've had a few loans here and there, but when I first started, I invested almost 25 grand into my own business. So it was, a thing that I had to work. That was money out of my own retirement accounts that I invested into my business to pay for rents and overhead and get things started, my LLC and things of that nature. I invested into my own self. I invested into my own business. And I had to learn that I had to keep reinvesting. In order for you to build a business, you have to learn how to reinvest into your own business. You can't take that money and go to Vegas with it when it comes in. You can't take that money and go buy Balenciaga. You can't do it. Okay? You cannot do it. You cannot take that money and go on your 10th cruise for the year and go on that girl's trip or that guy's trip. All of that sounds great. If you just want to live a lifestyle, okay, then go do all of that stuff. But if you want to build a business, you got to reinvest back into your own business so that you can get your business to the point where it is growing and thriving and surviving, and you bring it to a place of profitability. And see, then you can evaluate whether you can pay yourself or do those type of things. But you have to look at what you're doing. You have to look at your mindset. You have to look at, why am I in this business in the first place? Are you in it because somebody told you to get in it? You thought it might be a good idea, Or are you in it because you really have a desire and a passion to be a notary?
Or at least at minimum a successful entrepreneur.
This might be your
first opportunity
to be in business and be in business for yourself.
Right.
And see, that's the things that, even though I know a lot about the notary business and things of that nature, I know I don't have a desire to be a notary, but I always have a desire to support my husband. I always have a desire to help him. I always have a desire to want to see him win. Okay. I always have a desire to want to see our family, grow and develop and get better. See, that doesn't change. That desire is always there. Those things that I just named. And so my husband has always shown me that he always wants to see me win, that he always wants to see me, do well in business. He always wants to see me happy. He always wants to make sure that, I'm not stressed out, that I'm doing well, that I am healthy, that I am, emotionally, everything is good. Because there were times when I was working those jobs that it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. I was upset. I wanted to pull my hair out and all of these type things. And so we got to the point where we laid all the cards out on the table, when I wanted to leave that job. And I called him, I texted him, I said, hey, come on down here. I need to talk to you face to face. I'm more of a face to face type person. Yeah. He came down and I said, hey, I got to go. Yeah. I can't work this job no more. I said, I know I told you I would stay to the end of the year because I was going to stay to the end of that year. I said, I know I told you I was going to stay to the end of the year. I said, but I can't do it anymore. Yeah. I can't do it anymore. And you know what he said? He said, when do you want to leave?
And that was it.
And that was it. And I told him, okay, well, this is when I want to leave, blah, 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 blah. And I didn't just tell him I'm leaving and that was it. I also came I came to the table and told him, I said, I went and looked up, what I had to do to retire. I talked to the people at Human Resources. I talked to the people at Consolidated Benefits, all of these things. So it wasn't a matter of, oh, I just want to quit and I just want to stay home and kick my feet back up and, go shopping all day and all of that. It wasn't any of that. It was me coming and saying, this is where I am. This is where I am mentally. This is where I am spiritually. This is where I am emotionally. And I've got to make a change. This is too much. I can't keep doing this anymore. And he heard me. He heard my heart. He heard my heart. He knew that I was serious. But even in making it was a very, very big decision. It was a very, very big decision for me and for him and for our family. And we even talked to our sons about it because it was going to be a big change financially. It was going to be a big, big change for our family. And so when we did that, he was supportive. And but guess what? 2 years later,
we are
2022, because I left in 2018, and he wanted to leave his job. He wanted to leave his job. And he said, okay, you can come off that job. 2 years later, 2020, when things were, looking kind of crazy, he stayed on that job. He wanted to leave that job long before he did, but he stayed at that job to make sure that our family was taken care of, that our financial responsibilities were taken care of. He could have been like, no, I need to get to leave first. I've been wanting to leave my job first. He didn't do that. He said, as the head of our household, as the spiritual head of our family, as the provider and the protector of our family, he said, okay. And he, he, sucked it up and stayed at that job for a couple of years longer. But I watched what was going on with him at that job. I watched the toll that it was taking on him. Yeah. And I told him, I said, all right, tell them to kick rocks.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah. So we just wanted to share that with y'all. Y'all take it for what it is, but we're here to support y'all. We believe in y'all. We trust y'all to make the right decisions. And if y'all need help, just contact us. The Griffin family got y'all. So that's all we got.
Just, think about it. I like to wrap this up with this because he's going to have some more videos. You only see me every once in a blue moon. Okay. But I want y'all to think about this. Why are you in the notary business or in business, period? Why are you in business? Is it to get rich quick money?
Right.
Or is it a money grab for you? Or do you really have a desire to be a notary or to be an entrepreneur? Okay. And are you focused or are you scatterbrained or all over the place? Are you disciplined or are you undisciplined?
Yeah.
And are you skilled? And are you knowledgeable?
Yeah.
Okay. So these are some things, just some food for thought, some questions that you can, ask yourself, pray about, think about, talk to your spouse about if you're married, or your significant other, or within your, your circle of influence, people that you are close to and that you associate with. But be encouraged. If you are in business, make the necessary adjustments that you need to make within your business, within your personal life, spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially. Okay. Make those adjustments, make those tweaks. Okay. Make sure that you're getting wise counsel. Move from that place of being information rich and application poor. Move to the point of where you're starting to execute what you're learning, okay? And, start to move without that fear, because fear does paralyze you.
Yeah. Well,
Okay?
y'all have a good one. Thank y'all very much.
We'll see you soon.
All right. Peace.